Ever since I got started on my own game project, I get asked two questions very often. One, how did you get started? And two, how do you actually keep going? It can be really hard at times for people to find the motivation to start a project and or see it done, especially for solo dev. I for one have suffered from burnouts and game dev fatigue like just everyone else. Maybe you're experiencing it right now, or you just can't find that energy to kick off. So what can we do about it? How to find that motivation every day? Let's get started. Hey everyone, my name is Boris. I'm an indie game developer working on a 2D pixel art Metroidvania called Aeternum Vale that got funded on Kickstarter last September in 2020. I'm also streaming game design as well as retro and indie gaming over on twitch.tv/BorisAdan. As always, there is a link in the description down below if you want to come and check out if I'm live right at this very moment. If I am, say hi. If I'm not, drop a follow so you'll get notified when I am. Do it! So let's talk about motivation, and more precisely, why you're not feeling motivated, why you're feeling burned out, or, just how to prepare for feeling those things, because you will. Eventually, we all lose that little spark, and there comes a time when it's not as fun, and it's just about getting things done, and, well, you kind of lose faith and motivation, and that's normal. It's part of the creative process, and really, everyone is experiencing it at some point. So I feel the first thing we have to talk about is the very beginning, the start of your project, and that is goal setting. And I know you probably heard this 100 times before, because everyone is talking about this, but it is true, and I think it needs to be said over and over and over. Don't make the same mistake I did when I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a video game for the first time. Let's make an open world Metroidvania by myself. What can go wrong? Don't do that. Don't do that. Identify your goal, which should be, I want to make and release a game in X amount of time, but make it reasonable and achievable. Don't start too big, especially if you just got started. Pick something that is relatively small so that you're confident that you can finish it anytime soon. And if you do have bigger ideas for your project and you want your game to be that grand thing, you will have to learn to compromise. And I can bet you that if you really think about it, there's probably a ton about your game project that can be taken out without affecting the overall vision for your game. Don't think about all those extra things, and think about the core concept of your game. What is fun in this game to start with? Don't think about all the extra weapons and all the cool things you want to add, or how many rooms the world should be, stuff like that. It really comes down to what we call the minimum viable product. What is the core concept of your game that you can release and people will still have fun without all the extra stuff around it? And that is what you should be shooting for. Oof, that was really hard to say. I also feel like I have to talk about this. A lot of people are going to say duh, but also give yourself the means to succeed. Meaning, maybe you don't want to get started in your game project, like the final form of what it is you want to make in a video game, without first learning and practicing the skills that will be required to make it. Giving yourself the means to success, if you have a complete toolbox before going in, you'll be better off when you actually make your game. Then we have to talk about the honeymoon phase, and that is something that a lot of game devs struggle with, and it is very real. And what it is well, it's very fun to conceptualize a game, think about what kind of music we'll be playing, what kind of art is it going to be made of, what will be the core gameplay, and what's the story you want to tell. That's all very fun, you know, to figure out what it is that you're trying to make and what is the message that you want to come across. That's the fun part, the honeymoon phase. But then comes a time when you figured out what game you want to make and it's time to actually make it. And well, then things start to get less and less fun and more routine. But you know, that is normal because you've shuffled from 100% pure creative process to manufacturing process, and it's still creative. You still have to be creative every day, but now it's more of it's become work. It's become pure work instead of concept. And yeah, you know, it's just like love. It eventually fades out, and at some point there are days when you're not going to have fun making your game, and there are even some days when you will hate it. You will hate working on your game, and you will press play and try your game out, and you will hate your game. And wow, Boris, that is an awesome motivational video. I know. But I feel like, you know, I have to be real with you guys, because some of you are already making games and know what I'm talking about, and some of you want to get started. I think you have to know that it's not all fun and playing games every day, and at some point it gets hard. It gets tough like any other job or endeavors. So that is something you have to be prepared for. Also, I would suggest that very early on you start to get your game seen by people, friends, people on the internet. It is super important that you get early opinions on it because, well, if you purely rely on your own view, you're going to end up making a game for yourself. And that can be a good thing. Some great games have come out of this kind of mindset, but I think it's more sane to wonder what people actually enjoy playing. And I mean, that's the way I see games. And for that, you need to get people to play it. You need to talk about your ideas and see what people think of it, and get, you know, broad opinions. And it's going to be very hard to have people play around your unfinished baby and criticizing it, and they'll say a lot of things. Oh, but this is not great. Oh yeah, but it's not great because it's not finished, and blah blah. You will hate yourself and it will destroy all of your feelings. But at the same time, you're going to collect so much important data on what it is that works in your concept and what it is that doesn't work, and what can be done better. And maybe some people would point out things that will seem obvious, but you didn't see to start with. So really, it's something that should be done. Ever since my Kickstarter campaign, we've been having prototype demos thrown around for the backers, so people can test the game and give me their feedback. And let me tell you, it kills me on the inside to know that people are playing this unfinished thing that is nowhere near what it is I want to do, and it's not the game I want to make. But still, it's very useful for me because I can have direct opinions on something that is constantly evolving. So we're having the second demo now, and I'll probably do more before the game releases, because this is invaluable information that lets you, that keeps you on track. It's like, okay, you're making this, it's a personal thing. Making games is as much of an art form as anything else, so it's personal. It's very personal. But at the same time, you're trying to get that personal thing, and you're trying to make people enjoy playing it. So listen to people. What is also going to be difficult after that honeymoon phase fades out and you get into that pure work routine is to be productive regularly, be consistent, and that is something you really have to thrive for. Hear me out. it is normal and okay to not be at your 100% every day. Nobody can do that. Nobody. Stop listening to motivational bullcrap. There's no way you can be at your 100% every day, even if you, work out and meditate and all that good stuff. It's not possible. Don't shoot for that. What you should aim for instead is to never have a nothing day. Like, it's okay not to be 100% every day, but it shouldn't be okay to have days when you're like, that, I'm not doing anything. Just try and be consistent. If you get at least a little done every day, then you're on the right path, because there is progress that is being made consistently, and that's what you should be shooting for. I also feel that there is a subject we have to speak of, and that is managing your expectations, because with that new wave of game devs that seem to be emerging, and which I'm a part of, obviously, because I'm a very recent on this market, but there seems to be a lot of people that come on the indie game dev scene to make a quick buck. That is not the greatest business, to make a quick buck. On the contrary, it's really hard to make money out of indie games, especially nowadays, because the market is full of devs and is full of games. And even if you could just spend 100% of your time playing games, there is no way you could play every game that comes out every year. It's just impossible, because there is so much out there. So yeah, manage your expectations. You are probably not going to be making $1 million out of your games. I'm probably not going to be making $1 million out of my games, and that is fine. That is fine. My expectation is, if I make a game that is engaging enough and people like it and it gets a little visibility, maybe I can do another one, etc. Because what I'm enjoying is the process of creating, and I'm not doing it waiting for a monetary result. Don't get me wrong, I like money as just like the next guy, and of course I think of, what if my game is a success and things like that, and you should absolutely think of the outcomes, dream. That is normal, that is okay, and you should do it. But, don't dream too big. Manage your expectations. You want to make some money, you want your skills to grow, you want to get some credibility, some visibility out there so you can make more games. Fine, whatever keeps you going. But just don't go out there thinking that it's an easy place to get rich or something. It's not. It's really not. There is one last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before we wrap this up, and that is live a normal life. Don't get sucked into this passion of yours so that it becomes your whole life, because that is a destructive mindset. I'm telling you this because it happened to me. I was just getting started in this. My Kickstarter was a success and my game was funded, and yay, I got to, live my game dev dream and make my game and just do that. And at the same time, I was in lockdown, so I couldn't get out. So it really was eat, sleep, make game, repeat all day, every day, 24/7. And you know what? I crashed. I burned out. Of course I did, because that is not how human beings are supposed to live their life. At the end of the day, you're still a human being with human needs, and that is social life, social interaction. Get out there and do other things than just playing and making your game. And also take care of your body, because if you just stay seated on a chair for 6 months or 1 year, you're going to die. Don't die. This all feels probably stupid for a lot of you, but those are tropes I totally fell for. And now that I'm trying to turn my life around, I feel better about it, and I have a better day-to-day motivation because my game isn't the only thing in my life. And one of those things was to get started on Twitch, and it got me some kind of new social life when I could talk to people and, you know, get a real conversation going. Also allowed me to play games again because I was making a game, and because I was making a game, I stopped playing games. That is also super unhealthy for a game developer. You know, did you ever hear of a composer that does not listen to music? Of course not. So I think what I'm trying to say is take care of yourself. Take care of yourself because nobody is going to do it for you. So, you know, get that workout done, go and see some friends, have some fun in your life, and your game will probably be better for it. Trust me. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for my rant slash ramble. It was kind of a new way to make a YouTube episode today. I kind of let the camera flow and talk, and I'll be doing a rough cut after this. So, you know, if you like this new format, tell me in the comments below what you thought and what can be improved in the future. I think my final message will be get out there and make that game, you know. No one is going to put in the work for you. It's going to take effort, it's going to take time, and it's all up to you. But in the end, there is something that you need to know, and it is that you can do it. See you next time.